Hey guys! So today I'm finally doing one of my most requested videos ever, and it's all about taking control of your time. To be more specific, I'll share 10 tips to help you manage your time better, get rid of distractions, improve your productivity, and just get a step closer to your goals instead of watching Netflix or scrolling on Instagram all day. Especially when I'm uploading this video and we are all stuck at home, time management is pretty hard, so I hope this helps you out a little. I'll be making more videos about studying from home specifically very soon, so keep an eye out for those. Also, before I forget, I made a completely free time management printable worksheet that goes along with this video, and you can download it from the link in the description box. It'll give you some more tips and strategies, and as I said, it's completely free, so you have no reason not to download it, and I really hope you'll find it useful. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. So the first tip that I have is to track your time on a typical day. Before you learn to manage your time better, you first have to understand how you manage your time as of right now so you know what exactly you are doing wrong. In order to do that, ask yourself the question, where does your time go? And to answer that, I recommend tracking your time. If you're anything like me and you spend most of your day on your computer or on your phone, then I'd recommend looking at your screen time report because it should give you a pretty good idea of how you spend your day. It'll tell you how much time you spend on specific apps and also on categories like productivity and entertainment. The way that I personally love to track my time is by using an app on my phone. The one that I have is called Clockify, and I believe it's completely free. How it works is that every time you start doing something, you just start a new timer on the app, and then it tracks your time. And when you're done with the task, you just end the timer and tell the app what you are doing. That way you end up with a specific time log, and the app also gives you some reports and more analytics, which can be super interesting to look at. Another way you can track your time is just by using a pen and a piece of paper or a sticky note. I know it may seem boring or not really that important to track your time, but I swear once you do it, you'll realize all the benefits that it has. Moving on, tip number 2 goes along with the first one, and that is to be honest with yourself. Sometimes I sit down to study and I study for like 3 minutes and then I get distracted and watch YouTube for 3 hours. However, admitting to yourself that you were procrastinating for 3 hours doesn't really feel that great, so a lot of the time you just convince yourself that actually you are studying and you are being productive. However, when you are tracking your time and making a time log, please be completely honest. So when you add 4 hours of watching Netflix into your time log, it's not gonna feel great and you're gonna feel embarrassed. However, when you add 4 hours of productive time into your time log, you're gonna feel accomplished and great about yourself. And this is exactly what you want because your brain will realize that being productive is much more rewarding and feels better than watching Netflix and wasting your time. So the next tip that I have is to set goals and priorities. I know a lot of the time you have different things you want to do, different things you want to accomplish. However, you have to realize that you can't really do everything. So what you have to do is pick specific goals or priorities and just realize what matters to you the most as of right now. Write those things down, and that way you'll know exactly what you need to be working towards. You should set goals regularly every week or every month so you can stay on track. And also make sure that those goals are constantly visible to you and are in front of your face so you don't ever forget about them. This leads me to tip number 4, which is to put a limit on tasks that don't really matter. For example, if your goals are to spend more quality time with your friends and family and also get better grades in school, watching Netflix for 4 or 5 hours every day isn't going to help you do that. So you should limit the time you watch Netflix. And the way I usually like to do this is just by adding a limit on specific apps on my different devices. This is a built-in functionality if you are an Apple user, and if you're using Android, I'm sure there are different apps you can download that will have the same functionality. If the tasks you want to limit aren't digital and are more creative things like reading a fictional book or maybe drawing or something like that, then I'd recommend setting a timer, and when it rings, try your best to get back to your work and being productive instead of doing things that you don't really need to be doing. Moving on to tip number 5, which is to find the perfect planning method. So when managing your time, planning is essential so you know what you need to be doing and when, and there's not a lot of decision making involved. However, you need to find the planning method that works the best for you. There are different options such as having a to-do list, which is typically what I like to do. However, this doesn't really work for some people who need a bit more structure in their day. So for them, I recommend hourly planning, where you know exactly what you need to be doing at specific hours of the day. If that doesn't work for you, you can try weekly planning, which gives you a specific overview over the week, which can be pretty helpful. You can also try planning in different ways, such as you can try bullet journaling, planning everything digitally on your computer, and also using a paper planner that already comes with specific layouts. There are also different strategies for time management, such as time blocking and also batching. So one of my favorites is batching, which is when you do similar tasks one after another. So here's a little batch schedule I made where I dedicated a specific day of the week to a specific subject. So let's say I do math on Mondays, physics on Tuesdays, web development and programming on Thursdays, and revision on Fridays. And that gives a lot of structure to your week and helps you stay productive. Tip number 7 is to do a weekly review and look at the past week and reflect on what happened and how happened and all of that stuff. So a weekly review is built into the planner that I use, which is really useful. However, if your planner doesn't really have this, then I've included a weekly review page in my printable that I made for this video, so you can download and print that one out instead. That way you're able to realize the mistakes you made this week so that you don't repeat them next week. And also this can be a source of inspiration and motivation because you see your progress week by week, and also you try out new strategies and plan ways to improve. And I don't know what about you, but personally that makes me feel really great and inspired. Moving on to tip number 8, which is to put a limit on your to-do list and don't add too many tasks to it. So when you have a to-do list that has 20 different things you need to do on it, you will probably get overwhelmed and not even start. Instead, I'd recommend setting 3 priorities for each day. These 3 things shouldn't be anything super small and instead should be projects that take 1 or 2 hours. The reason this strategy works really well is because you first focus on your priorities, and then at the end of the day you can do bonus tasks or small tasks that don't really matter as much. However, they won't distract you from the main things that you wanted to get done that day. Moving on to the next tip, which is to know when to multitask and when not to. Remember that example that talked about where I used to study and watch YouTube at the same time? This is an example of multitasking that's actually really bad and you shouldn't be doing, because a lot of the time when an interesting show is playing in the background, you just won't be able to focus on your study material. However, there are other ways of multitasking that can be productive, such as when you are cleaning or doing laundry or chores around the house, you can actually play an audiobook, and this will be productive because one of the tasks doesn't necessarily take your focus away from the other, and you're able to get both done at the same time. And it turns out that you are reading a book and doing something else along the way, and it ends up saving you time. Speaking of audiobooks, if you'd like to get a few to listen to for yourself, Audible is the place to go. Huge shout out to them for supporting my channel and partnering up with me. The current audiobook I'm listening to is Mind Mapping by Marvin Walsh, and it's all about improving your focus, memory, and time management skills. And so far I love it because the tips are original and pretty helpful. With that being said, if you pick an audiobook and don't end up liking it, you can always exchange it for another one, which is probably my favorite feature on Audible. In their library, you can find audiobooks for any topic out there. Every month, you can pick one audiobook plus 2 Audible originals to listen to from that month's selection. You can download and listen to them anywhere, anytime, and the best part is that they are forever yours, even if you decide to cancel. So if you're interested, go to audible.com/EllenKelley or text Ellen Kelley to 500-500 and start listening with an exclusive 30-day free trial that'll give you 1 free audiobook of your choice and 2 Audible originals absolutely free. Moving on to the next tip, which is to take breaks. A lot of the time when you've been doing something for long, it's important to unwind, relax for a little bit, take a little break, and then get back to it. And that way you'll be more focused and more productive. However, you want to make sure that you're not taking like a 2-hour break after doing 10 minutes of work, because that really won't help your productivity. During breaks, a lot of the time I like to get a quick snack, or I like to listen to some music, dance around a little bit, because that really helps with my mood. And the last tip that I have in today's video, which is the bonus tip, and that is to never overpack your day. Things take way longer than expected, random things come up that you really need to get done that are urgent, or suddenly you feel tired and you need some time to relax and regain your energy, and this is completely normal. So always have some blank spaces in your schedule, and also be realistic, because you aren't necessarily a work machine and you're not supposed to be working all the time. Remember, productivity is all about getting things done faster and more effectively so you can make more time for yourself and the things you love to do. It's not about working all the time. Just keep this in mind, because a lot of people tend to forget about this. Before we wrap up the video, let's quickly do the question of the day, and that is, how much time do you spend on your phone on a typical day? Before the self-isolation, I used to spend about 45 minutes each day. However, now that I can't really interact with my friends in person, I think I spend about 2 hours on my phone every day, like texting, FaceTiming, and also I've started watching a lot more YouTube videos because I'm a little bored. Anyway, make sure to download the printable that I created for you guys, because it took quite some time and a lot of work, so I hope you guys find it useful. Also, let me know in the comments what specific videos you want to see about this self-isolation, studying from home type of topic. I plan to do some tips about working from home, and also I want to share my routine during online school. So if you have other ideas that you like to see, please comment them below. Remember that I love you. Please wash your hands, stay safe, have an amazing day, and I'll see you super soon with another video. Bye!